I'm Jodi Bakst with Real Estate Experts, working in Chapel Hill and Durham, North Carolina. Today, I'm going to talk about the due diligence rule in North Carolina. The single video that I have done that gets the most questions is the one that I did on due diligence and earnest money. So this video is responding to a number of questions that I typically get about due diligence money. And I bet many of you have some of the same questions. Question number one. Who pays the due diligence fee? Is it the seller? The answer to this question is no. The buyer pays the due diligence fee. At the time of making an offer, the buyer offers a certain amount of due diligence money and earnest money. The due diligence money is paid by the buyer to the seller for the seller allowing the buyer to put the house under contract and you do your due diligence. Within the agreed upon due diligence period, the buyer can terminate the contract for any reason or no reason. The money that is at risk is the due diligence money. This means if a buyer terminates on or before the due diligence period, you forfeit your due diligence money and your earnest money comes back to you. Question number two, what happens if you can't get your loan? If a buyer cannot get their loan and they have to terminate on or before the due diligence date, the buyer will lose their due diligence money and the earnest money will come back to you. So because your due diligence money is at risk, it is best to be very sure that you can get a mortgage if you need one. If the negotiation requires you to put down a significant amount of due diligence money to get the house, to get the job done, you don't want to put that money at risk. Question three, what happens if the seller won't make repairs? In North Carolina, the contract is an as-is contract. However, this is not typically how we operate. Buyers will have inspections done, they submit a repair request, and buyers and sellers negotiate repairs. In some instances, sellers won't make any repairs. If this happens, a buyer has two choices: to either stick with the contract and handle the repairs yourself or terminate. And if you terminate, the buyer will lose their due diligence money and the earnest money will be returned. Question four, in a competitive market or if you are in a competitive situation, should you waive the due diligence period? Well, this is a great question. If you really want the house and you would be heartbroken not to get it, and it's a competitive situation, an excellent strategy is to waive the due diligence period. And this does not mean that you won't have inspections done. And if you find something significant, you can still try to get the seller to fix it. What this does say is you are buying the house no matter what. And you only want to do this if you are confident that the house has been well cared for and that there won't be an issue with your loan if you're getting one. If you do have a due diligence period and you're making an offer in a competitive situation, then I recommend making that due diligence period as short as possible, like no more than 2 weeks. If you have more questions about due diligence and the ins and outs of the North Carolina offer to purchase and contract, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Real Estate Experts. And as always, please click on the button below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for listening today.